will you make a public commitment today to rule out U.S. regime change in Cuba?
Regime change?
Yes.
Oh, no, I think we would love to see the regime there change.
The president just mistook the two countries for each other, correct?
Yeah, he meant to say Greenland, but I think we're all familiar with presidents that have verbal stumbles. We've had presidents like that before. Some made a lot more than this one.
Bombing a capital, blockading a country, and removing elected officials.
We didn't remove an elected official. We removed someone who was not elected, and it was actually an indicted drug trafficker in the United States.
Are you the lead for U.S. government on foreign policy?
No, the lead on U.S. foreign policy is named Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States.
We have not received any information on the Board of Peace. Do you commit to informing us about what the heck this is?
Yeah, it's a Board of Peace.
What is your criteria for returning to a military option and putting boots on?
Well, I don't recall the president saying he was going to put troops in Venezuela. Where did he say that?
I'm asking you, what are your...
But that's what you said. I didn't remember
the president has already said that he was ready to put American troops in Venezuela.
No, I think the president has said that he retains the right as commander-in-chief to protect the United States against any imminent threats. Maybe that involves troops, maybe that involves air power. We hope, but we don't anticipate that being the case in Venezuela.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Lawgic. Tonight, we have a potential government shutdown for the second time of fiscal year 2026. We might be seeing the government shutting down this weekend as we come to the end of January. And no budget there's no consensus on a budget yet. I got leftists freaking out. I got leftists charging cars or getting hit by cars. I guess it's really a little bit of a matter of perspective. And a whole bunch of other crazy news from around the world today. That's all coming up tonight. Plus, we have tonight a goal. Goal is our commonly placed goal of 15 super chats or more. Not just super chats, rumble rants, local siphonings, air carrier pigeon deliveries, whatever it is, $10 or more comes in during the course of the next 2 hours. If we hit 15 of those, I will extend into hour 3, give you 3 full hours with a call-in session. I'm even going to sweeten that little pot there. I'm going to be gifting out some Good Lawgic memberships, some new members of the following, just to bring you new friends, because I feel like you're all good people. You very, very well deserve it. It's very well deserved. So that's all coming up tonight. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with respect to, why does it say recording 1? What is that doing? I see I'm getting new buttons here. StreamYard's giving me no data detected. Stay in the students here. Recordings are uploaded. What? I don't know what it's talking about. I'm getting these weird notifications here. All right. Locals money is in tips. That's right. That's correct. Master debater here understands. He knows how that works. That's local tips. Did I not open that up? Did I not open that up? I didn't open that up. I opened that chat now. That's good on me to notice. Wait. Why is it not open? All right, now it's open. All right. Digger's Playground is open. So there you go. Appreciate you calling my attention to that. Thank you. Thank you kindly. All right, let's get things started up here. Let's get things started up with something. I told you there's going to be lots of local news, and it's not just the news. It's not just the news that, the stories that I referenced there about the looming government shutdown. No. This is the following program. How can we not talk about things going on in Minnesota? You almost have to, right? It's like part of the agenda. Nick Shirley sharing out there. It's official. Tim Wall's career is over. It's not even like, how sometimes they say this career is over. No. His career is over. From almost being vice president to end of his career.
One of the things is I have no political consideration, will never run for an elected office again.
Never again.
Never again. And I will just do the work. And what I found is...
He's saying it like, please, please, please leave me alone. I promise I'll never run again. I promise I'll never run again. Please don't throw me in jail. Please, 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 I'll never run again. I'll never run again. I mean it. I really mean it. I'm not going to bother you. I'm just never going to run again, please.
Again, I'm going to say this. There's heroes on the streets that we don't know their names. They're never going to run for office. And those grass-top leaders brought this administration to their knees this week to do something about it. So
Did they? Did they?
there's other ways to serve, and I'll find one of the
Look at those eyes. Look at the way those eyes just sort of stare out. His eyes creep me out. His wife has the same thing. I'm telling you, this is just a subjective opinion. Okay, I want to be clear here. Okay, I'm not saying this is a statement of fact. It's really my sincere opinion, not because I dislike this guy. My sincere opinion that there's something very psychotic about this individual.
things is I have no political consideration, will never run for an
There's
elected
just something in the eyes.
office again.
Never again.
Never again. And I will just do the work. And what I found is
That look, that right there. You see that look? It's like he's not looking, he's not making eye contact. He's just sort of like staring off and talking. And I know it looks like I'm doing that right now, right? I guess it sort of looks like I'm doing that, but I'm looking at a screen here like that, like, you know, there's something very psychotic here. There's something really, really wrong.
again, I'm going to say this. There's heroes on the streets that we don't
So now he's looking at him. Now, in this point, he's looking at him. There he's not. He's just sort of like almost like contemplating life and like just sort of, I'm never going to run again. Like, so please just let me go.
Again, I'm going to say this. There's heroes on the streets that we don't know their names. They're never going to run for office. And those grass-top leaders brought this administration to their knees this week to do something.
Yeah, right. Anyway. Yeah, sure. Sure. They brought him to. You won. You won, Timmy. You totally won. Yes. Brought them to their knees. So we also have this here. He's making this circuit. Just try to count the excuses.
This fraud thing happens in every state. We had it here.
So it happens everywhere. So it's no big deal. Happens
I
everywhere.
take responsibility for it.
I take responsibility. When have you ever taken responsibility for it? When did that happen?
No one in state government had anything to do with it, but people stole from us. You got to stop that. We're working hand in hand with the U.S. Attorney's Office. That's gone now. I don't even know who over there is working on fraud.
Well, they have a whole department he created to work on fraud. What do you mean?
And we got folks, you come
Todd
in here,
Blanche.
that U.S. Attorney sat right here, and I said, there's two people that want to fix this more than anybody in this state, me and you. What do you need from me? This fraud thing happens in every state.
That's funny.
We had it
No
here.
one-
This fraud thing
no one
happens
wants
in every
it
state.
more
We
than
had it here. I take responsibility for it.
Just
No one in
happening.
state government had anything to do with it, but people No one in stole state from us. government had anything You to got do to with it, stop but people that. stole We're from us. working hand You in got to hand stop with the that. U.S. Attorney's We're Office. working hand in hand. That's with the gone U.S. now. Attorney's Office.
All right, we're removing that. That was crazy. That was like Tim Walz was possessing the show. Tim Walz was possessing the show there. That's the only explanation I got. I can't explain what happened there. I don't know. Anyhow, so it looks like Tim Walz is gone. Looks like he's no longer. Looks like he's not running for office anymore. And yeah, he's got one foot out the door. There you go. So is that we should let him go? I like where he's at the stage he's at. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it. It's not a problem. And you should hold me accountable, but it's not my fault at all. Tim on Timmy. Tim on Timmy. Ah. God. That guy. All right. I have to bring this story up also. I have to bring this up. Just because I know people are going to throw this at me. Because Apparently today was Holocaust Remembrance Day. I don't know what made this Holocaust Remembrance Day. I don't know. I don't even know what that. There's a Yom HaShoah, which is is the day that we remember the Holocaust. That's not now though. I don't think it's not like it's like a thing for the real Jews. Like all our holidays go back like several millennia. There's no holiday that comes up in the last couple of centuries. That's just not a thing, you know. All our holidays like predate like, you know, British royalty, like literally. So like some holiday that just like some sort of thing. There's Israeli Independence Day, which is Yom HaAtzmaut. So that comes up in like the spring sometime. That's not a real holiday. When we have holidays, like I said, the most recent holiday predates Jesus. So when people come up with like, you know, Holocaust Remembrance Day, okay. I mean, I guess that's nice. I don't know. But it's not like it's a holiday or something like that. Now, Josh Shapiro, who, in case you couldn't tell, in case you didn't know, he's Jewish. He apparently was slamming J.D. Vance today. Slamming him, saying, accusing J.D. Vance of anti-Semitism over not mentioning Jews in the Holocaust. Remember, in his remembrance statement, he didn't mention them either. Shapiro didn't mention them either. But when J.D. Vance doesn't mention it, he's an anti-Semite. You didn't mention him. Stupid. Gosh. Why are people so dumb? Want me to define real Jew? That's a fair question. I like that. Define real Jew. Real Jew in the context that I'm using it, I mean Jews who practice our religion or attempt to practice it faithfully. Technically, Shapiro is a real Jew. I've been chastised by some of my relatives for making statements like that. And they're right. I shouldn't say they're not real Jews. But when I'm talking about when I say real Jew, I mean practicing Jews. That's what I mean. I mean people who are trying, people who keep Shabbos, people who only eat kosher, that sort of thing. That's what I'm talking about. Now, but like what I would say is this: other people who are not practicing are real Jews. So perhaps I should retract that. But I think when I say it, I always assume people knew what I meant when I'm saying that. But I don't know. It's a choice. I don't know. It's a proper choice word. I don't think. Probably is an improper choice word. But yeah. Where was I? Where was I? I'll start. I'd send it to PayPal, but you didn't seem to get the last one I sent. I saw it. I don't see when it comes to PayPal until after the show. So I did see it, and I'll thank you for that. In fact, I'll even credit it towards this show because I saw it there. Okay, so we're going to deduct 1. I'm going to say as if this one counts as 2. But yeah, so I'm counting this as 2. So there you go. Who's handsome member for 14 months? Hey, look at that. Oh, 14 months. I'm going to give you the horn for that. There you go. Second that. Love you, Joe. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Sandy, our registered nurse from California. So Josh Shapiro. Let's talk about Joshy Josh. Josh Shapiro accuses J.D. Vance of anti-Semitism over not mentioning Jews in the Holocaust Remembrance Statement when he didn't mention them either. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro has accused Vice President J.D. Vance of being anti-Semitic for not mentioning that it was Jewish people who were killed in the Holocaust in his post marking Holocaust Remembrance Day. Shapiro, however, did not explicitly state that it was Jews killed in the Holocaust either in his post. Vance wrote in his post marking the day of remembrance that took place on Tuesday, quote, "Today we remember the millions of lives lost during the Holocaust, millions of stories of individual bravery and heroism, And one of the most enduring lessons of one of the darkest chapters in human history, that while humans create beautiful things and are full of compassion, we are also capable of unspeakable brutality. And we promise never again to go down the darkest path. Included in Vance's post were photos of he and second lady Usha Vance's 2025 visit to the Dachau concentration camp in Germany. Very nice. If I had seen this, I would have been like, oh, you know what? I would have, if I had seen this before seeing this article, you know what I would have said? I would have said, oh, today was Holocaust Remembrance Day. Oh, okay. Well, that's nice of him. That's thoughtful. That's what I would have said. But I don't think like a leftist. Unless I'm like trying to think like a leftist. When I'm trying to, I can think like a leftist, but I don't. It's like that's not my fallback. That's not what I tend to do. Josh Shapiro saw this and he saw red. He had a problem with this. Shapiro told NBC News about the statement. Remember that the reason why we memorialize the Holocaust on this day really essentially is to never forget. Well, he said never forget. And the reason you never want to never forget is that we never lived through that atrocity again. Well, he said that too. Part of never forgetting is making sure that the facts of what happened are recited and remembered. The fact that J.D. Vance couldn't bring himself to acknowledge that 6 million Jews were killed by Hitler and by the Nazis speaks volumes, Shapiro told NBC that he had not personally seen the statements. I haven't seen it, but I'm telling you, that speaks volumes. It's not surprising to me, however, given the way in which he's openly supported the AfD party, given the way he openly embraces neo-Nazis and neo-Nazi political parties, given the way in which he's offered comfort, really, to the anti-Semites on the right who are infecting the Republican Party. Are you all anti-Semites? I'm feeling so alone now. Shapiro told me. So it's not a shock to me that he would admit that, but it's a sad day that the Vice President of the United States on Holocaust Awareness Day couldn't address that. This is what he's all kerfuffle about. Spokesperson for Vance told the outlet that Shapiro's comments were a next-level hypocritical deflection from Shapiro, a misguided plea for attention from political lightweight, and noted how Shapiro's own tweets did not explicitly mention the Jews. They said that Shapiro had desperately tried to shift blame to the vice president. In his post marking the same day, Shapiro wrote, "This Holocaust Remembrance Day, we pause to reflect on a horrific chapter in human history, a period of incredible darkness for our world consumed by hate and violence against millions of people on the basis of their faith, their background, and their beliefs." It's almost verbatim what JD wrote. Like, I would think he copied and pasted if I didn't look at it carefully. Today, perhaps more than ever, we know how much it's still left to do amidst the rise of, see here he brings up anti-Semitism. We're seeing across the country. It's on us to rededicate ourselves to combating hate and violence wherever we see it and to speak with moral clarity in its face. Okay, let me explain something to you. So, you silly, silly man. Let me explain something to you. Here's the reality. Josh, the reality is that the word Holocaust is naturally associated with the Jews. It is. It's technically a word. It's a word that existed long before the Holocaust was the word Holocaust. But it's become so synonymous with what the Nazis did to the Jews that you cannot use the word I defy you to use the word Holocaust without the majority of your audience thinking that you're talking about Hitler's attempt to obliterate every member of the Jewish race and his success in obliterating 6 million souls. I think that it's impossible. You could not find an audience that would not think of that specific objective of Hitler, even though Hitler tried to kill all sorts of other races also. Not with the same deliberation and alacrity and dedication that he had for obliterating Jews, but he was racist against black people. He was racist against gypsies. He was a hardcore racist with his fixation being on the Jews. But the reality is he was racist against everyone. And with all that, the Holocaust is really fixated on Jews. And it should be fixated on Jews because that was the primary focus. Other people who were caught up in that were really a byproduct. It was objective. How do we eliminate the Jewish problem? as Hitler called it. So yeah, okay. But because of that, you cannot think the word Holocaust without thinking Nazis and Jews. Those are the two words which just, you cannot, even the regular word, if you throw it out in a sentence, if you said like, wow, you know, Black Monday was just like a Holocaust. Yeah, you know, I had some very strong, long positions on Black Monday. It was a Holocaust. Everyone thinks the first thing people still think of in that financial context is 6 million Jews killed by the Nazis. So what are you freaking out about? Like, why are you so stupid? And so it's like, how petty can you be? How ridiculously petty can you possibly be to say you didn't mention anti-Semitism or Jews, so you're a terrible person? Like, what you're a racist, you're a neo-Nazi, you're AFD, or you're a lunatic. This guy's a freaking lunatic. This is not normal. It's such terrible gamesmanship. And here's why it bothers me. And maybe this is why I end up saying things like real Jews. Okay? Maybe this is why. Because I feel as if, what is he doing here when he makes this comment to NBC News about how, you know, that's a display of his I lost my train of thought here. Let me dial it back. When I sort of was implicitly omitting Shapiro from classification of real Jews, which I was thinking in contrast to Josh Shapiro. If you know, real Jews, don't get fixated on this, because to Josh Shapiro, Holocaust Remembrance Day is a lot more important than the holiday of Sukkot, at least based on how he acts. It's a lot more important than Shavuos, which are real holidays he should be observing. Those are holidays which are much more important for his soul that he observes, and yet he ignores, making a whole big stink about Holocaust Remembrance Day. There's nothing wrong with Holocaust Remembrance Day, but if as a Jew, if that's your fixation, you have very warped priorities. And what I feel is, the reason I think I refer to I would exclude Shapiro from being defined as real Jews, even though, to be fair to non-Jews, they definitely look at him like he's a Jew. And you saw how Kamala Harris treated him when she was running for vice president. But the reality is this. It's like he comes out and trots out his Jewishness for political gain. How dare you offend the Jews by not referencing Jews in the Holocaust? When you're talking about Holocaust Remembrance Day, and you're a neo-Nazi, you're an anti-Semite, it's like, I feel as if he's using my faith for political hackery, to try and position on political hackery. He's using my DNA, which I understand that there's a shared DNA with Josh Shapiro because, you know, the whole Jewish thing. But what I'm saying is, I feel as if he's basking in his Jewish DNA. This is why I've come up with the term Gino, like, which reference to Jewish in name only. Like, he's basking in his Jewishness for the purposes of political gain, which is horrible. To me, it's far more offensive than anything J.D. Vance did by omitting anti-Semitism. When this guy comes out there and just starts saying, I can't believe you didn't mention anti-Semitism, and the whole point is about remembering, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you're making this about you. You're making this about how can I go after this person. You're trying to twist it and pervert it to try and say that J.D. Vance is an anti-Semite, which I'm telling you, the dude is not at all anti-Semitic. There's zero indication, quite the contrary. There's actually plenty of indications that he has absolutely no problem with Jews whatsoever. And you're sitting here whining and carping and saying, I can't believe you didn't mention the Jew. Like, just shut up. Like, why do you just make people hate Jews when you do this? And it's not what Jews think, at least not real Jews. See, that's why I come to real Jews. That's why. Because I'm like, that's not how Jews think. That's not how real Jews think. And I understand he is a real Jew. He is. But that's not how real Jews think. I don't know how to phrase it. I think you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I do think he's a real Jew. I do think he would be happier if he basically would sit down and open up a chumash and sit down and strap on tefillin and daven to Kadosh Baruch Hu 3 times a day. Okay, that he should be praying, and he should actually do tshuva, and there's a lot of things that he needs to get repentance for, as we all do. And he is fully Jewish. Okay, when I'm referring to real Jews, I'm saying practicing Jews who deal with this on a day-to-day basis feel revolted when they see this kind of stuff. And I recognize that you make people hate Jews, and that makes me very resentful toward you. I'll clarify this. It's not that real Jews don't practice Kabbalah. It's that real Jews would study Kabbalah, and real Jews wouldn't tell anyone that they study Kabbalah because it's such a secret type of study about understanding like mystical powers. They would never tell anyone. You wouldn't know it. Someone goes around and says, I study Kabbalah. That's not real Jews. So yeah, I get very annoyed at people like Governor Josh Shapiro when they try and use my faith or my DNA, I'm not sure which, but try and use that as a basis to try and bludgeon someone and falsely label bizarre labels on them, which are totally unearned, as a way of political, it's as a political mechanism. Hi, Josh Shapiro. Me again. I see you attacking JD to NBC for not using the word Jews in Holocaust posts. You yourself did the exact same thing in your own tweet. You're a total joke, Josh. He's right. He's right. He's a joke. The fact that JD Vance couldn't bring himself to acknowledge that 6 million Jews were killed by Hitler and the Nazis speaks volumes. Unbelievable. That was Shapiro. Yeah, anyway. And this is a fair point that the moderate case puts out. I happen to like the moderate case. He really is as close to a centrist as you can find. And I feel as if he definitely tries to look at things in good faith. So I respect that. I respect that. And I would agree with him that those people were Jews. A lot of the people who I'm saying are not real Jews were actually dying in the Holocaust, right? I mean, out of 6 million people, a lot of them were Jews like Josh Shapiro, just, 80 years ago. So that's like, they were real Jews, at least from Hitler's perspective. So anyhow, now I got that off my chest. I can call it a night. We're good. I guess I should cover the other stuff, right? We were talking about a potential filibuster. I think we were. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything over here. Checking the ghetto. With 576 viewers, which I don't understand how it's only 576 a half hour into the show. That doesn't make any sense to me either. Joe should have over 250 likes. I don't understand that. I'm a little confused by it. It's very hard for me to figure out how YouTube operates. But I noticed that Wednesdays and Thursdays, it's almost as if there's like some like sort of weird void that like my notifications go to or something. I get like a lot more people on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like twice the audience. And this has been going on now for like 2 or 3 months. So I don't know what it is that YouTube does for that, but it's definitely a pattern. All right. Let's talk about the looming shutdown. I think it's time we talk about that. The looming government shutdown. That's not going to work for me. I'm going to make this a little bit resized. A little bit resized here. Senate blocks measure to advance government funding package. 7 Republicans join the Democrats. The Senate on Thursday blocked a measure to advance a government funding package in a 45-55 vote ahead of Saturday's deadline for a shutdown. 7 Republicans joined the Democrats to block the funding package, which includes money for the Department of Homeland Security. GOP Senators Ron Johnson, Mike Lee, Ashley Moody, Rick Scott, Tommy Tuberville joined the Democrats. Now, I'll tell you this. I trust Mike Lee. I really trust Mike Lee. Trust him a heck of a lot more than I trust John Thune. Senate Majority Leader John Thune also voted no, but this allowed him to bring the vote to a floor again. Senator Rick Scott said he might force Senate to vote on the SAVE Act as part of the government funding deal as the shutdown looms. He said, I need your help. Let my colleagues know we must pass the SAVE Act and secure our elections. We have to stop the earmarks and end wasteful spending. Let's hear him out.
Between votes, I want to give you a quick update, and I need your help. Let my colleagues know how important this is to you. Number 1, pass the SAVE Act. No illegals voting in our elections. Number 2, stop the earmarks. We can't have all this wasteful spending. So I hope you let my colleagues know how important this is to you.
Oh, there you go. I can definitely get on board both of those measures, Rick. You got my vote. You got my vote. Senate Democrats stayed true to their threat by blocking a behemoth funding package, but in a surprising turn of events, they were joined by several Senate Republicans to derail the legislation. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and his caucus made it no secret that they would obstruct the government funding process over the last several days, demanding that Republicans strip the Department of Homeland Security funding bill from their 6-bill package. Eat turd. Eat turd, Chuck Schumer. But the defection of 7 GOP lawmakers, Senators Ted Budd, Ron Johnson, Mike Lee, Ashley Moody, Rand Paul, Rick Scott, Tommy Tuberville, was an unexpected development on Thursday. Senate Democrats are willing to support the 5 other bills in the package, however, have reiterated that bundle would easily pass if given the chance. Okay. So it seems as if things are not going so well with respect to our objectives to fund things. That doesn't seem like it's happening anytime soon. Here is John Kasich weighing in on this.
Look, my opinion is that Democrats sometimes don't know when to stop. You know, the country understands that what's been happening in Minnesota has been out of control and doesn't reflect our values.
You're such a loser. You're such a loser. The country does not understand that at all. Like, at all.
And action has to be taken. But really,
action has to be taken. Yeah, action is taken to get rid of like millions more illegals.
impeaching Christie, no, you're just going to get Republicans that happen to agree with us on all this to become partisan again. Or we're just going to shut the government down. Oh, yeah, that always works. No, I think the Democrats should make it clear the things that they believe in, body cameras, good training, working with local law enforcement, that's all great. But they always want to push it one step too far, and that risks turning people off.
Oh, well, Democrats never turn anyone off.
That doesn't make sense.
As if Democrats have ever acted in recent memory, no, living memory, in ways that make sense. God. Here's Ro Khanna explaining his position on this matter.
Do you believe that if you don't get any solution on these extensions of Obamacare, do you believe that the Democrats should shut down government again?
And the sad thing is, I know that ultimately Republicans are going to cave on extending Obamacare, and I'll tell you right now, I personally gain from these extensions. And if they don't fund Obamacare, my health insurance bills go up. They do. I still don't think they should do it, though. Perhaps if they actually see how they're skyrocketing, instead of continually patching up this defective ship, that will make them feel they need to actually remedy the situation, call for other possibilities, other options on healthcare. Maybe not requiring people to mandating people get healthcare the way they do. Not everyone needs the same kind of healthcare. The plans are they are not sufficiently divergent from each other, reflecting the healthier younger people who tend to need far less healthcare. They only need it for serious unexpected emergencies, versus an older generation, which has a lot more needs for healthcare. And it should be a different price. That's just the way life works. That's the way consumerism works. That's the way capitalism works. And that's the way we have to work it. Is just say, hey, look, there's different packages and there's different needs. But if you're someone who's 30 years old in good health, and you're a single guy or gal, and you're basically like, hey, you don't remember going to a doctor in the last 3 years just because you don't need to. Like, why should you be paying the same thing as someone who is going in there for monthly treatments of dialysis? Just doesn't make any sense. And while there are different plans, they seem like they don't seem fairly apportioned remotely, given the nature of healthcare need in relation to actual healthcare costs, insurance costs.
And at the end of January?
I've never been for a shutdown in terms of just getting our way.
I've never been in favor of a shutdown. Remember this. Remember what he opens with. I've never been in favor of a shutdown. Okay.
I am trying to negotiate. One of the issues that we've tried with Michael Lawler, with Kevin Colley, two Republicans, is to say, let's just do the extensions for a year or 2 years.
They want extensions for 1,000 years. That's what they want. They want the extensions for 1,000 years. These were extensions that came in during COVID. They were supposed to die out. They came in during COVID, and everyone's like, well, it's part of COVID relief and COVID relief and COVID relief. And it's like they never want to let go of it, and they never will let go of it.
Let's make sure that people are covered. Their premiums don't spike from $50 to $2,600.
If they spike from $50 to $2,600, you will hear America screaming at Congress to fix this damn problem. And then they'll create something, hopefully. Necessity is the mother of invention. And they will craft something that is far superior to the hopelessly failing Obamacare. So, yeah, a couple of months of $2,600 for that $50 person might feel like it's impossible, but within 3 months, we'll have a whole new healthcare system. Because they will crack their heads open to try and remedy the situation. But when you continually, it's like, if you know that the patient is going to die, you sort of then you have an urgency. Let's do everything we can to fix this problem. But if they're able to sort of suck from they're drowning, and they like a little tube that they can sort of stick above the surface line of the water to reach out to grasp for air. You're like, oh, okay, they're doing okay. They're doing okay. So maybe you need to take away the tube. So you actually see them, hey, they're drowning. And then they'll fix the problem. Because this is not untenable. This is part of how we've been digging ourselves a massive hole over the last 20 years. This is how you end up building $40 trillion in debt. It's a major contributing factor. Stupid. So, yeah, if Americans were really drowning because we just couldn't afford healthcare coverage, they would fix this. Certainly on the outside, within 6 months, it'll be fixed.
Happening with one taxi driver in Arizona who has cancer. So let's come together, but then we can deal with the long term. But right now, you're
never going to deal with the long term. You've been talking about dealing with the long term for the last 10 years, and there's been zero motion in that direction. So clearly, unless there's a dire situation, you are not going to deal with the long term. You won't. You can't even figure out how to fix a budget, for crying out loud. How the hell are you going to fix healthcare? Yeah, then we can worry about the long term. When will that happen? Why would that possibly happen? What would change? Like, the definition of insanity is to repeat the same steps and expect a different result. Why would anyone think there will be a different result? Why? No, these are just a bunch of shills who are all worried about losing their political power. That if insurance basically goes bonkers because it's not being funded, that they're all these members of the House are ultimately going to get fired, and they'll be replaced. So that will motivate them to actually fix the damn problem.
to penalize the American people if you don't get a compromise.
Yeah, but
no, it's penalizing you. It's penalizing you. Because even if there's some sort of dire circumstance, that can be remedied in a bill that comes out like over the 6 months. It can. It can. Subsidizing insurance companies doesn't work. Let the cost rise and hold insurance companies' CEO accountable for Congress. We know that the increased bill base is based on government subsidies. I think that's almost certainly true. Meaning part of the reason it costs so much is because there are government subsidies. We've seen this with tuition. The more money that the government loans out for tuition costs, the higher tuition rises. So I think it's almost certainly true with respect. Why would it be any different with respect to our healthcare? What the actual cost of healthcare is? Why would it be any different? So basically, this is just this is designed to. This is a structural flaw in how our healthcare is set up. It's a complete structural flaw. And it will remain in effect for as long as you allow them to keep siphoning that we're going to have these subsidies. It will remain in effect. You need to sometimes you need to let the system crash so that it gets fixed. I know that might sound cruel to some person who's dealing with cancer right now. But there are going to be people dealing with cancer a year from now, and 2 years from now, and 5 years from now. And if the entire country is bankrupt because of what happens with healthcare, then there's not going to be any treatment for anyone. That's a great point there, fans. Anyway, so he said he's never for a government shutdown. That's what he started. He's like, I've never been in favor of government shutdown.
Let's come together, well, then we can deal with the long term. But right now, you're going to penalize the American people if you don't get a compromise.
Yeah, but wait, let's be clear. You voted to keep the government shut down.
What do you mean you've never been in favor of government shutdown? You shut it down 6 months ago. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's just not true. She's like checking her earpiece. She's like, wasn't he part of? Yeah, of course. He's a Democrat. They all voted to shut it down. Oh. You mean the last time? I meant I haven't voted yet in 2026 to shut it down. But I did vote to shut it down in September. Yeah, that's true.
Because they did not come even with a compromise.
Oh, so you do vote for a shutdown sometimes. You can start off saying, I don't vote for shutdown. See, that's just not true. It's full of crap. So the two things are they want the extended funding and they want to clamp down on DHS funding. So the Democrats, they're like, basically, let's give no money to DHS and let's just throw our money into healthcare. So here's Senator Ron Johnson talking about that.
There were a lot of American citizens murdered at the hands of criminal illegal aliens, and that is an issue that still has to be fixed. What say you?
Well, of course, the radical left pays no attention to it. They don't mourn those deaths at all. You'd mentioned that Mayor Frey made the statement that they were going to keep Minneapolis safe. They haven't. I just read a post on X about a illegal immigrant that was released from Hennepin County Jail, went on drunken driving charge and killed a mom. Okay, so no, they're not keeping Minnesota or Minneapolis safe. And what's even sicker is these leftists, and that's what Mayor Frey and Governor Walz, who they are, they actually encourage, they train their supporters to become activists. They're the ones that encourage them to put themselves in danger by frustrating, by obstructing ICE's legal law enforcement actions. And they paid with, they paid with their activism with their life. It wouldn't have happened. Both Renee Good and Alex Preddy would be alive today had not people like
Tim
Governor
Walz.
Walz, Mayor Frey, the lieutenant governor who apparently was managing the Signal chat, which was following ICE and deploying activists to harass them, to obstruct their activity, putting themselves in danger. And again, 2 people lost their lives as a result of it.
They sent Alex Preddy there. They sent Alex Preddy to that corner to confront ICE. They didn't tell him to bring a gun there, but they sent him there. So it's your fault he's dead, doofus. Blame Legal also, like I did the other night. I've been busy editing that down. You guys probably would like an edited down version of that, where I just sort of condense that down. The other day, you guys won. We hit our goal when I was saying, should I cover Legal? Who called Preddy and Renee Good the best of us. So that got me so angry, that guy.
So now the left has their martyrs, and they're using those martyrs to now threaten a shutdown or try and dramatically reduce the authority of DHS to clean up the enormous mess created by Democrat open border policy.
Ron Johnson is correct. Alex Preddy, Renee Good are not the best of us. You want to know who's the best of us? Laken Riley's the best of us. Jocelyn Nunnery is the best of us. Poor innocent souls never harmed anyone, as far as anyone knows. Young girls cut down by illegal aliens. Those are the best of us. You sit there crying for your crazy activists, sociopathic activists who try running people over and kicking taillights out of ICE vehicles. The best of us. Sickening. Such twisted values, these people. Twisted values. What's this? While we're on the topic of DHS and those sickos who encourage the Alex Preddys of the world and the Renee Goods of the world to try attacking ICE agents, let's hear from Dick Durbin. Dick Durbin has some facts that he wants to drop on the Senate floor. Let's let Dick Durbin drop some facts on the Senate floor.
Hear you deliver it. Thank you. Mr. President, earlier this month, the nation watched in horror as social media was flooded with images and videos of a federal immigration officer shooting and killing an American citizen, Renee Good, as part of the Trump administration's military enforcement operation in Minneapolis. Now, Fresh on the heels of that tragedy, another one has struck. This weekend, federal agents gunned down yet another American in Minneapolis, Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse at a VA hospital in Minneapolis. I'm going to show a photo of that scene, which is graphic, but I'm afraid is necessary to appreciate the.
And I do want to warn you, this is a very graphic picture that he's about to share with the House on the Senate floor there. So you might want to avert your eyes because this is a very, very, very graphic picture.
The horror of the moment. This photo shows the last second before the ICE agent killed Alex Preddy.
Oh my God. That ICE agent has no head. He's got no head. What happened to his head? The one with one knee. It's a headless ICE agent. Oh my God. Call the police. We're being attacked by headless ICE agents. Oh my God. I told you. It's very, very graphic. Our country is being invaded by headless ICE agents. They're marching all over the place. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dick Durbin alerting us to this attack of the headless ICE agents. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. That's crazy. I told you it's graphic.
On the streets of Minneapolis.
What are we going to do about this? I hope Dick Durbin's going to alert us. It's like this problem that we didn't realize we had of the headless ICE agents who were just roaming around the streets of Minneapolis with like weirdly shaped arms that sort of look like Chewbacca type arms over here. Look at this Chewbacca arm here. I don't know what's happening here. Headless ICE agents. My God.
In his right hand is his camera, left hand holding the ground.
You're focusing on this guy. I don't know how you can get over like this whole like Chewbacca arm. I don't know what's happening here. The headless Chewbacca armed ICE agent. I assume, given the deformed small arm here, that doctors took from this arm and said, why would someone want two balanced arms when you can have one giant super arm that can just bend in 9 different ways? Give him like a palm that's shaped like a clawfoot or something. He's got his little robot leg here, so he's able to chase after American civilians even faster, right? He's got this little robot leg thing going on here. This makes me, sympathetic. I don't want ICE agents looking like this. This is for sure. I recognize that ICE is a necessary agency, but I don't think we should be bringing on in here the Chewbacca armed headless robo leg headless ICE people. That sounds crazy. That's crazy.
No gun, obvious.
Well, I don't know what this is. I don't think it's a gun. Probably, I'm assuming it's not a gun. I don't know if it's his glasses. I don't know what that is. Probably his glasses. But yeah, my God, this is a terrifying moment in American history. I can't believe that you would think that he would struggle to qualify for whatever physical ICE has to take. Right? I mean, how does he shoot straight? How does he hear what's going on?
No effort to resist, obvious.
No effort to resist.
This was a moment.
Trust me, if an ICE agent ever attacked me, a headless ICE agent, I would not be resisting. Although I would say in this moment here is exactly when he's resisting and trying to get up rather than going down. So yeah.
When this man lost his life, he was characterized afterwards as an assassin, a domestic terrorist.
Well, he is a domestic terrorist. I mean that we actually saw evidence that he was a domestic terrorist. I mean we didn't. Christy Noem's mistake was in actually calling him domestic terrorist before she knew that. But now we know that Alex Petty was a domestic terrorist. I mean, let's be clear about this. Let's be clear about this. The guy was a domestic terrorist. I mean, that's not even a question. He's a domestic terrorist. I can understand you could say it's sympathetic that he was caught up in this situation and ended up being gunned down. But that doesn't mean he wasn't a domestic terrorist. This is a guy who was so dedicated to hunting down and harassing ICE agents. Now, ICE agents are there performing a function that the majority of Americans in this country recognize as being a vital function of our federal agency. And this is why Trump was reelected in large part, was to have ICE go into our cities and remove illegal aliens. So this is what the will of the federal government is. And this would-be insurrectionist, this domestic terrorist, made his life's mission to hunt down the people trying to effectuate that and harass them as much as possible. Try and make their lives as difficult as possible. Barking at them, screaming at them, and basically following them around. Signing up to chats where you can find out where are they so I can better help in harassing people doing a service that America wants them to do, needs them to do, has begged them to do, because he doesn't like that service. So he doesn't like that service, so he's basically insurrecting against them and joining this insurgency as a domestic terrorist. Now, I'm not saying he would have killed anyone. He did seem sociopathic. I mean, that's pretty clear. But he's so dedicated to this. I saw some reports saying that he had lost his job because he was so dedicated to this. I do not know if that's true or not. But by his own statements, by his own claims, he had cracked his ribs a week earlier. Maybe it was in that incident that was filmed 11 days earlier. I don't know. Maybe it was a different incident. But he's cracked his ribs and running out there a week later to get back in the fray to harass ICE agents. That's a very dedicated domestic terrorist. So, yeah, he's a domestic terrorist. He's a sociopath. He's a domestic terrorist. You see how he interacts with total strangers. He doesn't know who they are, but because of what they represent, that he's basically, spitting and cussing at them and saying, arrest me, hit me, like acting like a sociopath to total strangers. So he's a lunatic and he's a domestic terrorist. That doesn't mean he deserved to die. I'm not celebrating his death, but the label of him being a domestic terrorist, it's accurate. Should we catch a little more Dick Durbin's little violin playing for this guy? Watch another minute or so.
The photo tells the story. The killing of Alex Petty has further intensified tensions in a city already reeling from the president's aggressive campaign of terror. What was the Trump administration's immediate response when they heard of this second killing in Minneapolis? Not to bring down the temperature, but instead to rush to the American people with one message. Don't believe your eyes. Don't believe what you see.
Don't believe what you see. I see a headless ICE agent. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. They're not really headless. They don't really have Chewbacca arms. Yeah, I see them too. I see them too. Wow. I see them too, who's handsome. As long as I don't mind people disagreeing with me. I don't care how stupid they are. That's okay. As long as they're not spamming, not violating terms of service, not being racist, then they're okay. It's a good thing. I'm not trying to get you. You don't have to go out there and fight. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's all good.
It is the same playbook they used after the killing of Renee Good.
Renee Good, who tried killing an ICE agent, she tried running him over. So that was an easily justifiable self-defense.
With other federal immigration officers involved shootings and incidents. Following the fatal shooting of Miss Good, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, falsely claimed she had, quote, violently, willfully, and viciously ran over an ICE officer.
She did. We all saw it. There's even video of it. It's kind of weird that they don't recognize that.
In response to the killings of both Ms. Good and Mr. Preddy, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem labeled their actions, quote, domestic terrorism.
Properly so. Well, like I said, when Kristi Noem said it first about Alex Preddy, it would seem a bit premature because we weren't familiar with his history. I will say this, that if ICE agents who attacked him were familiar with his history, that would actually assist them in a self-defense claim because they would be on notice of this particular individual's sociopathic behavior in confronting ICE.
And Attorney General Pam Bondi, in a letter sent to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, effectively tried to blackmail the state, demanding that the governor of Minnesota turn over voter rolls of that state in exchange for Bondi's efforts to pull back federal immigration enforcement officers.
She never offered to pull them back. She never offered anywhere in that letter. That would have been potentially negotiation. So if I say to you, if I say to you that if I get more super chats, then I'll give you an extra hour of time. Is that me extorting money from you? That is stupid. A ridiculously stupid claim.
In a court hearing earlier this week, an attorney representing the state described Bondi's request as a ransom note. Why has this president targeted this city and other democratically led cities?
Yeah, well, the woman was leaving by driving through an ICE agent. I'm slamming on her gas to drive through an ICE agent. Right? Right? In fact, you know what? Here, I got a great video to show you. I've got a great video to show you, okay? Hey, let me show you a great video. Just on point about Renee Good. I didn't even think about it, so I saw this super chat. Super chat. You should be sending me super chats. The amount of attention I give my chat. You should be sending me super chats, Paulie. Let me show you a video. This is something that the left is freaking out about today. Happened just today. One of the things I plan on covering with the news for you. It's a good time to break over there. This is part of my crazy leftists. A student taking part in protests against ICE, Fremont High School in Fremont, Nebraska, was injured after being struck by a vehicle displaying a Trump flag, and another driver left the scene. You tell me. You tell me. How is this different from Renee Good? We just hit that girl there. Let's see it again. Right there is the moment of impact.
Oh my God.
One way it's different is that the car is going a lot slower than Renee Good was going. Accelerating a lot slower. So the left is out looking for this guy. Let's get a different angle, okay? Where you'll actually see that this is an incident where you have a student running over a vehicle. You heard that correct. Here's another angle of it. No, that's not the one I want. That comes afterwards. That's after she's hit. Hold on a second. Let me see where I have it here. I'll find the other angle of it. Oh my God. Ha 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 ha. Brian Krasenstein. Wow. 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 Okay, you want to see something? I want to show you something. Here, you see an 18-second video? This was not an 18-second video before. This was a longer video which showed that you can actually see. Here it starts where after she's already been hit. That's why I wrote on it, headline should read, student runs over car. Because in the video, you see that that girl ran toward the front of the vehicle as it was accelerating. Literally ran toward the front of the vehicle. So you tell me, all right, Paulie? And also you over here, Connor D. Rose. You tell me. So what if he dodged more effectively? She ran at the car. He wasn't running at the car. So for some reason, Renee Good is the victim over there, and over here, the driver is in the wrong. Why is the driver in the wrong here? Why? If anything, Renee Good had a duty to listen to directions, clear directions from a federal agent, and this guy had no duty. If anything, he's being surrounded by a bunch of anti-ICE activists while he's got a Trump flag on the back of his car. So he was imperiled. She was not imperiled. She wasn't imperiled until she slammed her foot on the gas. It was slamming her foot on the gas that imperiled her. So Renee Good is a lot less sympathetic than this teenager who perhaps recklessly ran someone over. I gotta try and find that video because I can't believe Brian Krasenstein. That is slimy. He didn't like how it looked because if you actually see the video of leading up to her getting hit from this angle, it's very clear she ran at the car. Now I gotta see if I can find it. I know because I comment on headline should read student runs car over because it was a longer video, like a 40-second video, and you see her running up to the car and getting hit and then going down. And I don't know if he edited himself, but he definitely changed it to this video on his post, Krasenstein. That's very slimy. Let me see if I can find it. A longer video. There she is. Look at her running up towards the vehicle. See? She runs up at the vehicle. Literally runs into the road to get in front of the vehicle as it's trying to leave. Because she's sure the guy's gonna stop for her. See how she starts off there? Trying to get in his way. So yeah. Is that driver there, Renee Good? Is that another Renee Good? Just one who didn't get shot? Everyone's hunting for blood to go after this guy. So I don't need to hear your bad faith arguments, because when the shoe's on the other foot, everyone's sitting there trying to hunt down this guy, try to find out who this kid is, because it was another student at the school. Based on the quick view of his head, that he looks like he's a teenager. Everyone's trying to hunt this kid down. Why are you trying to hunt this kid down? What did he do wrong? If Renee Good was doing nothing wrong, she's just trying to leave. He's just trying to leave, Paulie. He's just trying to leave. Slammed in front of the gas. She was going 2 miles an hour. Was she going 2 miles an hour? Really? Because she seemed to really barrel into a car. And that's the point, is what this woman was doing was illegal. I don't wish harm on this woman who was running into the car. What she did was illegal. And I want to be clear. I don't support any of this. This is something that has all been set in motion by the likes of Tim Walz, by the likes of Legal, by the likes of Jacob Fry, by the likes of leftists who are basically saying, go confront people. You get in their face. That's what Maxine Waters said. You go after them. Literally encouraging engagement. You get in their face. This is crazy leftist perspective. I don't like what you're doing, so I'm going to get you. I don't like your position, so I'm going to get in your face. I don't want to see people from the right getting hurt. I don't want to see people from the left getting hurt. But they definitely create the circumstances in one time after another where they're creating this. They're purposefully trying to create this. You want to go have your rallies and your protests saying you don't like what ICE is doing, that's fine. You can go march on City Hall, screaming and chanting. You don't go running after individuals on the street who are trying to engage in dangerous activities like apprehending potentially dangerous criminals, blowing whistles to try to distract them, pounding on pans outside of their hotel, treating them like they're vermin. And that's how they've been trained to think of these ICE agents, dehumanizing them in every way possible. So if you're going to sit there dehumanizing them, why would you expect them to display humanity to you? You already just said they don't have humanity. You're dehumanizing them. It's illogical. It's an illogical perspective. Americans have always, since our founding, we have a very rich history of disagreeing with each other about what is the healthiest way for Americans to move forward. There's nothing wrong with that. We're very strong believers in free speech. Even if it's speech we hate, we're very strong believers in the right to protest. Right to protest, technically, there is a legal right you can follow after ICE agents. That's what the Supreme Court has said. There is a legal right for you to bring a gun to a protest. But these are not protests. These are, where is ICE now? We'll send a couple of people there to harass them. That's not a protest. That's stalking. A protest is you have a gathering of people coming together to basically express their opinion, not to shriek whistles at someone. Find where they are so we could shriek whistles, whether they're engaging in activity or not. Even if they're not, they're in a restaurant I think they're in a restaurant. I don't even know what they are, but I think they might be in a restaurant. Let's harass these people who I see in a restaurant because I don't like that they're in a restaurant because I don't like what they do. This is not sanity. Here's another deranged leftist. Deranged anti-ICE activists harassed couple at dinner because they thought they were ICE agents. Watch this lunatic.
Let me film you, but
You want to harass people, huh?
No.
How does it feel to be fucking harassed?
No.
So he did not deny he does work for. He did not deny it.
we're from TSA.
He did not. Look. Fucking matter. How does it fucking feel? He did not deny.
He says, "I'm from TSA. I'm from TSA. What the hell are you talking about? I'm not even from ICE."
But
You want to harass people, huh?
No.
How does it feel to be fucking harassed?
No.
So he did not deny he does work for. He did not deny it.
we're from TSA.
He did not deny it. He just said it.
He did not. Look. Fucking matter. How does it fucking feel? He did not
Like these idiots don't understand what TSA is.
deny it. He did not deny it. How does it fucking feel to be harassed? Look. How does it fucking feel? That's you.
You think that this is normal? You think that this is normal? You're saying it's random people. This is what the left has become. This is what is become normal. This is what's become normalized by your leftist leaders. And this is another point of insanity. Of course they're masked. You know why they're masked? Because even being masked, they still follow them to hotels. That's insanity. Of course they're masked. They weren't always masked. They became masked when the left started going insane, saying we're going to try and hunt these people down. We're going to try and find them in restaurants. We're going to try and go harass their families. They're masked. Here's another newsflash for you. People coming after them invariably are masked also. Why are they masked? Why are they so masked? Oh, because they don't want to be identified. If they were unmasked, would they be harassed by the federal agents? Federal agents go to their house, just start going boo. Would they start pounding on pans outside their house to keep them awake all night? You need to wake up and recognize when you're on the side of lunacy, of irrationality. It's not the way humans are supposed to act. They don't want to have the law enforce them. Well, you know what? The law is the law. You might not like the law. I don't like all the laws also. That doesn't mean I go harassing people and trying to hound them or try sending people to stalk them. There's plenty of laws I don't like. The UN started that holiday to remember all victims. You're talking about Remembrance Day? I didn't know that. Senator Lurch, where is Jim? I don't know. I don't know where Jim is. I tried calling him. I hope he's okay. I left a voicemail by him. Subsidized insurance with this we got earlier. I don't care about the call-in show. I just appreciate you being here, sifting through all this crap for us. Thank you, Joe. You're welcome. You're welcome. Home ad did a video called Baby Talk, a brilliant take on TikTok car girls. I was hoping you might give it your take on it in the near future. Baby Talk, TikTok car girls. I'm a big fan of home math. Now you got me curious. Maybe we'll go there. Maybe we'll go there. I'm a big fan of home math.
Excuse me.
Home math is really, really good. It's one of a handful of accounts that I follow. It's hard to find. I struggle to find anything here. If I come back, maybe later when I'm wrapping up here, if I have time, which I might. 16-year-old nephew just stopped by to pick up my Trump shirts for him and his buddies to wear to school tomorrow to upset the anti-ICE crowd. Historic moment, IAB picture is put into congressional record. Durbin's an idiot, puts it in. Yep. It's illegal to block the road full stop. Don't forget locals chat. I have drachma for you. You do? Oh, thank you for your drachma. It's a $25 tip. God bless you. I'm going to hit you with the horn here. I can't wait for AI Joe. Joe on the Senate floor. Joe as the new Messiah. Definitely not that. That's never going to happen. Hey, Joey is our new Messiah. The world is saved or not. Ha ha ha. No. Okay. I am not the Messiah. I'm gonna go on record. I want you all to know. Definitely not. I can understand it's an easy mistake to make, but I sort of feel it's incumbent on me to tell you I'm not. Definitely not. But thank you. It's very flattering. You're awesome. La 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 la. I unfollowed you on X. It hurts. Did I? Apologize for that. Can I make a confession? Two things. Numero uno, I almost never look at my feed on X. So if I follow someone or don't follow them, there's almost no difference as to whether or not I'm going to see what they have. Number two, I have this thing about keeping my people I follow under 1,000. I don't know why, but it's like sort of like, no, I went over 1,000. I got to sort of trim it down. I think I'm actually like 1,004 now or something like that. So I got to so I go down to the list and I just sort of who can I get? Who can I? And I just start mass unfollowing just a bunch of people. But FBI raids Georgia election office. It's going to get spicy. I covered this last night. See, man, it was a late show last night, so I don't blame you for missing it. But I did cover that last night. I think in the beginning of the show. I think it was the first story I covered. Half these guys don't respond without the gift. Yeah, no, I mean the reason I respond is because I think that to the extent someone can make a point, and I don't look at my show here as just a matter of talking exclusively to people who agree with me. So if someone's able to make a point that merits response, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. So, but yeah, at a certain point, they really should be sending super chats. So, there you go. Anyhow, so these are the Ice Age. They're being harassed by these lunatic leftists.
Look, he said it was him. He said it was him. He said it. He confirms it is
It's just insanity.
you. He confirmed. Look. They confirmed that. He confirmed. He did confirm.
He confirmed! Confirmed that he works with TSA. Look at this. Look at this. At a certain point, you're just sort of yeah, you're in my space, and I'm gonna punch you in the face.
He works for Homeland Security. Lo confirmó.
Literally trying to torture him. Like in Guantanamo Bay, they would just blast loud music as a form of torture. That's what their objective is.
Yeah, we saw you. We saw you messed up. You came out with another guy, and I can show you the whole video. This right here doesn't do shit for you guys. You're on the video. I saw you yesterday. You're gonna tell me it's not me? You must be an Asian guy, but you don't remember me yesterday? I was on the. I was on there with you. Come on. Wow, you're lying.
But here's the point. Not only are they getting someone that they have the wrong guy, but even if he did work for ICE, like the guys at a restaurant, so you're like, why are they wearing masks? Well, because I want to be able to go to a restaurant without having a bunch of deranged lunatics jumping in my face. That's why you wear a mask. Well, yeah. And you would wear a mask too. You would wear a mask too. Oh, I'm sure that they do. And then they complain about LRAD. It's like you're sitting here basically trying to use noise as a way of harassing people, and then wanting like a little baby when it's thrown back at you. So, yeah, this is Nursing Scrubs, and Libs of TikTok is trying to find out who she is. So her job probably isn't going to be there very long. Will that happen in LA? See, she's ready to find out where she likely works. She's going to become famous. You're going to become famous. There's a follow-up to that. Follow-up report to that.
Well, this appears to be a case of mistaken identity. Some TSA officers were eating dinner here. Someone thought they were ICE, and then the crowd showed up. Whistles and horns blaring of anger in Wynwood.
Agent got this from ICE.
A crowd of anti-ICE protesters swarming a restaurant after reports that off-duty ICE agents were inside. But law enforcement sources tell Fox 11 this may be a case of mistaken identity. The agents weren't ICE, but instead TSA officers eating dinner.
As if they were ICE, they have any friggin' business getting in their face.
LA County Sheriff's deputies called in for crowd control, eventually calming the situation. Talk to y'all about what happened?
Oh, sure. Who are you guys with?
We're at Channel 11.
Oh, Fox?
Channel 11, Fox 11, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We asked an organizer what happened.
No comment.
Oh, we just want to ask what happened.
No, I know, but I just don't trust Fox.
She refused to speak with us, saying it was because we're Fox. Did you guys think it was ICE?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially. Maybe they're ICE, so that means that we can harass them because maybe they're ICE. I mean, just think about how deranged a perspective this is. Maybe they're ICE. Or maybe you're a terrorist.
When we turned to restaurant workers for answers, the organizer followed us inside, recording and telling employees in Spanish not to speak with us either.
Yeah, sorry to you. You're not getting nobody to talk to you.
Outside, straggler protesters also recording our camera, trying to stay incognito.
I think there's a place and time for everything.
This man arrived moments after the chaos ended to eat at the restaurant it all started. These are TSA agents.
You want to understand, people get very emotional, so they easily make mistakes. It happens. You take it out on the wrong people, which same thing as ICE. They say they're after criminals, but they're taking it out on everybody.
On anyone who's an illegal alien.
TSA workers eventually
Or basically impedes their efforts.
escorted out safely with no arrest or injuries, but a moment that highlights how tense emotions are across LA. So a moment of mistaken identity, but again, no arrest and no injuries. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
So there you go. Bunch of crazy lunatics. Bunch of crazy lunatics. I didn't really give you my synopsis. I sort of veered over into the crazy leftists running at vehicles and harassing TSA agents. Just both funny and sad. And what I would tell you is, with respect to this government shutdown, we should not fear a government shutdown. If in fact it happens, which seems likely. It's far superior to say no on funding the healthcare subsidies or defunding DHS or whatever other insane perspectives that the left is hoping to shove through, and to just abolish filibuster. That's really all this takes. That's what we should be pushing our senators for. That stop being cucks and abolish filibuster. It's time. Abolish it. And that if you don't abolish it, you will lose the midterms. You will get wiped out in the midterms. That's what's going to happen. Your friends are going to be gone. They're going to be wiped out. Because, and it's not even like that we have to threaten that's because this will happen again in September of 2026. This will happen again at the end of the fiscal year. And they will keep it shut down because they saw how effective that was. And the only way to avoid that is to abolish the filibuster. The left has told you what their playbook is. That as long as you give us an inkling of power, we will abuse it. I've explained in the past that the purpose of the filibuster is to force Congress to negotiate, to force them to work a compromise. The reason to have compromise is because ultimately compromise is adjudged to be a superior outcome for America in the long term. Instead of going too hard this direction or too hard in that direction, that you sort of work a compromise when you're implementing new laws. When you're dealing with a party which has made very evident that everything that they stand for will turn on a dime, purely for the basis of being opposite of whatever you stand for, that is not someone who's interested in dealing in good faith. When they're calling you Nazi, Gestapo, Hitler, when they're sitting there saying that they have a right to harass people who are doing things that they disagree with, these are not people who are interested in compromise. When everything about their conduct is designed to dehumanize anyone that they disagree with, these are not people who are interested in compromise or negotiating in good faith. They're purposefully negotiating in bad faith. And if you're negotiating in bad faith, you should not be negotiated with. You should be ignored. That's the only way to deal with someone because it's a type of terrorism. Whatever you say, even if you're saying something I said 10 minutes ago, because you're saying it, I will take the opposite position. That is what we've seen from the left. Whatever you say, we're going to say the opposite. 2010, we had Barack Obama saying how we must get rid of illegal aliens, deporting 7 million illegal aliens. No complaint. Even Biden deported millions of illegal aliens. No complaint. As soon as Trump does it, oh my gosh, let's start harassing ICE agents, calling them Nazis and telling them that we have to, we're gonna do everything we can to make your life a living hell. Go as far up to the line as we can. Send people to target you, find out what your license plate is, share that on a database, target you, go after you, and then try and harass the hell out of you. 24/7. An army of trolls, 24/7. This is not people you can negotiate with. It's not people you should try to negotiate with. It's people that need to be ignored. It's not interested in actually bettering America. They're simply demanding that whatever the hell it is that they want, that's what has to be. Even if they lose an election. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the majority of Americans want. They cloak themselves in some false perspective of moral superiority while acting a damn fool and reckless and dangerous to themselves and to others. Literally a danger and a hazard to themselves and others. That's what the left is. Why would you negotiate with that? Why would you say this is something like, well, the Queen's rules of say we have to have our boxing hands in this position? This is ridiculous. It's like you go into a boxing match with your hands up like this. And you're dealing with people who are basically slashing at you with a machete. But the rules say I have to have my hands up like this. Bare knuckle boxing like this, and it's supposed to be like this. The guy sitting across from you has his 2-foot machete. He's swinging around there. You're stupid. And that's what the Senate seems. The Senate seems incapable of growing a pair of cojones and saying, hey, we are going to abolish the filibuster, but that's what is necessary now. So I'll tell you this. I'm hopeful. I don't know. I'm not expecting it to happen because we've seen what cucks the GOP Senate is. We've seen that they're complete and total cuckolds. But I'm hopeful. At a certain point, they're going to wake up and recognize, hey, you know what? Your career is going to be done if you don't abolish filibuster. So maybe this will be a wake-up call. Maybe it will be a wake-up call. I don't know. We're hopeful of that. I do think it's probably going to shut down. I don't know if it'll be as long a shutdown as last time, but I do think it'll be a shutdown. Someone asked me to find that home math thing. How do I do a search here? Home math. Mm-hmm. I did promise also I was going to share out. I was going to gift.
Make a public.
So let me take care of that also because I'm going to forget otherwise. There you go. 5 new members of the following. Congratulations. Welcome to the following. Amazing Disgrace, Aquatic Nomad, Sandy, California RN, D. Watt, and Renee Miete. Look at that. What? Look at that. Look at that. See that? Bunch of awesome, awesome new followers. I did well. I did well. I did really, really well. Do activists realize that they're the ones acting like 1930s Germany? Of course they don't. They're the brown shirts who are basically trying to bust up anyone that they can. Yeah, that's exactly what they are. They are the brown shirts. And otherizing anyone who disagrees with them. I bet that whistle is above 85 decibels requiring ear protection. I would snatch it away. Would that be self-defense or assault? I can't wait to be the 51st state. I want, you know, when we were just watching that video and we saw like them like jumping around them like a bunch of little children, you know, all excited about like, you know, Santa Claus showing up, but like not the same type of excitement. Like I was actually wondering, like, you know, I was actually thinking to myself at a certain point, is that like, is it lawful to punch him in the face? Is that lawful? And I've always gotten like very different, it's very hard to get like a definitive answer on that. You use reasonable force to the extent that, you know, you feel that you're imperiled, so you're in danger by them. So, you know, can you just throw a punch at them? I don't want to weigh in on it because I sort of feel as if every time I feel like I might have a handle on this, it's not an area of law I ever specialized in. I don't like weighing in on areas of law that I don't specialize in unless I've done some research. And I sort of always feel like I don't even know. Someone's buzzing around you, purposefully trying to harass you. At what point can you just like sort of pow? I don't know. It's a good question. So I wish I could give you an answer. I think I have an answer, but I'm too afraid of being mistaken on it to actually weigh in because I'm very cautious when I'm expressing a legal opinion. So that's why I'm not going to give a legal opinion. Other than tell you at a certain point, it's okay. But but to definitively say where that point is, that's a tougher thing. And a lot of it could depend on what jurisdiction you're in as to like what you can get away with. Republicans are into self-fluctuation. They'll never end the filibuster. They're into self-flagellation too. That's what they're really into. It's a certain type of masochism. It's stupid. And I agree with you. I have grave concerns about ever seeing Senator Thune waive the filibuster. I'll be astonished if he ever ends that filibuster. I'll tell you right now, I will be making a party here. We will have a party on this stream if he ends the filibuster. Massive party if he ends that filibuster. But I am with you in being doubtful that I'm ever going to have an opportunity to throw that party. The left has already told you that they will, and they're going to do that. Q Thulu gifting 5 new members of the following. Following 5 people have become members of the following, courtesy of Q Thulu. Who do we got? Who'd you bring on down here? That it is appropriate when you get gifted a membership courtesy of someone else to express your gratitude to them, because the following is not at all a cult type of cult. It's just a gathering of like-minded individuals who are seeking greater personal growth through community, unity, learning, and thinking. I am not at all the leader of the following. I am just the host. But I still can point out to you that it is appropriate to express gratitude to Q Thulu if I call out your name. That would include you, Snarf Maru, and you, Paulie D. New member of the following. Look, if there's anyone in this chat who needs greater personal growth, Paulie, this is like giving like a homeless dog a shower and a hot bath. And when Paulie Q Thulu has gifted you membership in the following, I hope you take great advantage of this new change in your life, this new status in your life. I mean, use this as an opportunity for far greater personal growth, much as countless others have in the past. Use their membership in the following as an opportunity for greater personal growth. So welcome to the following, Paulie D. It starts with expressing gratitude to Q Thulu for bringing you into like what is almost certainly the greatest assembly of individuals seeking further enlightenment, certainly in modern history. It also would include 3 more people who brought in courtesy of Q Thulu. That would include Debbie Mezzi, Becky Osborne, and Warren Moffitt. Welcome to the following. And God bless you, Q Thulu. I can't believe that Paulie got gifted. Nice. There you go. 2% Jewish. I don't even think that's such a thing. How would you even know that? Like, that's like 8 generations back? Like, okay, if your grandparents were making 25%, great-grandparents would be 12%, great-great-grandparent would be 6%, great-great-great-parent would be 3%, and great-great-great literally like 7 generations back. All right, well, there you go. Shine on through. And the walls come down, and the wind, and the heart, and the moon. All right, so I'm trying to find that whole math thing, just because, frankly, I am out of show at this point. I'm out of show. I'm not going to kid you. I'm totally out of show. I'm like, I covered everything I wanted to cover. When I was preparing tonight's show, I was like, it really feels like I got like an hour and a half of material tonight. Felt a little short. So that's why when he mentioned home math, I was like, if you have anything else you want me to cover, by the way, this is like the perfect time to say, hey, Joe, can you do this? Because there's a really good chance that I'll be like, I can stick around here for a little bit more and do that. I could stick it out with you guys. What'd you call it, home math? What was that home math thing you asked me for? What's it here? Home math to baby talk. Talk. Well, that's not a good way to check.
If you want a girl to fall in love with you, it's just.
Is this it? I don't even know. I'm having a really hard time finding. I did a search here. I'm trying to find here. I did a search here for baby talk home math. And I don't even know. Is this it? Maybe this is it.
Would you attack the police until they shoot you in the face to protect scammers from Somalia? Well, she would, allegedly, but why?
That's funny. That's funny.
Why would anyone do that? And where do people like this come from?
I'm loving this already. I'm loving this already. Oh, I'm loving this already. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, amazing disgrace.
This story was all over the news this week. Renee Good was shot and killed by an ICE agent for interfering with their duties, allegedly. People who do crazy things like this, allegedly, only exist because when people are too comfortable for too long, they get all fat and retarded. Human beings work really hard to create nice things, and then the stupid ones start thinking the nice things are free because they've never done any work. This is the cycle of collapse. And if you don't do real work, you never grow up. And no one's doing real work these days. And so more and more people are remaining in these childish, egotistical levels of development. This woman was basically an overgrown baby, and she didn't know what she was doing, allegedly. There are two things going on here. Number one is that a lot of liberals are just not capable of empathy. They think they are, but they're actually just hallucinating that the entire world either shares their values or is the devil. So
This is such a great breakdown. This is such a great breakdown. This is so good. I would argue that intentionally blasting a megaphone in someone's ear with intent to inflict trauma, which is so loud it causes physical ear pain, is an assault battery. I'm with you on that. It's just that I've heard other attorneys question that. Branka was on Laura Ingraham tonight. Go Branka. Nice. This wasn't it, but I'm glad you found this one. Well, this is great.
this kind of liberal wants love and free healthcare for all, so the liberal imagines through psychological projection that everyone who comes here from the third world also wants love and free healthcare for all.
This is totally true. This is totally how they think.
Whereas in reality, a lot of people from the third world are still at an opportunistic level of development, which means whatever I can get away with. You probably heard about the Somalian daycare scams that cost Minnesota billions of dollars. That's opportunistic, or level 3. They want control, they want power, they want to gain. You're giving them billions of dollars for nothing, and the Democrats allow it because they want the Somalian vote. Conservatives tend to understand this better than liberals. They actually have empathy. So here's the conservative thinking, my family and my country should come first. And then when he thinks about what the third world thinks, that's thinking about thinking, he understands that a lot of them are just not like us at all and also not very friendly. But
by the way, I want to clarify about what he's saying. That is true, but we do not think all of them are like that. It's not even like we think they're all Somalians are like that or all of race X are like that. We just think that there are way too many of them. And there's no steps in place to stop the ones who do think like that. And I think it's a childish way of thinking to think that there's no such thing as those. And we also feel like, you know, whatever benefit to the ones who are not thinking like this, the ones who are acting in good faith, who maybe are just thinking love and free healthcare for all, it's not worth it. And also, we can't afford the free healthcare for all. So even the best of them, it's like you're asking for something we cannot afford. And the worst of them are actually causing pain, actually stealing our money and harming Americans. So all in all, it's like, no, we just don't want any of them here anymore. It's like, yeah, if we could give out healthcare for free and it wouldn't destroy our country, That'd be nice. But money doesn't grow on trees. Money comes out of our bank accounts. And at a certain point, it's like, no, I'm, you know, there are enough Americans here who I'm going to begrudgingly pay taxes to cover them. But no, I don't want to be basically have it be an unlimited piggy bank to whoever decides to walk into our country. It's not fair to ask me to do that, to demand that. It's thievery. You're stealing from me by demanding that I do that. And you're not paying it yourself more often than not because you're some student. So you're not the one who's paying it. So you're basically saying, take it from my pocket. Well, I work really, really hard for my money. I'm trying to take care of my family. I'm trying to take care of my children. I'm trying to take care of the responsibilities I accepted upon myself. Now you're trying to thrust new responsibilities on me. Why am I owing that to you? Where do you have a right to come at me and say that I have a duty to you or to some person you decide that I have a duty to? That's completely unfair. I'm willing to give charity in different directions that I'm I feel comfortable with. Certainly not willing to give charity to the government, who I think is the poorest example of how to redistribute my wealth. So all in all, when you come at me with that, I think that you're basically not a good person. You're not being empathetic because you're not sacrificing of yourself by and large. The reason that you stand there, for the most part, is because you're looking for people to think that you're such a good person. But just standing there and saying things, or even barking with your friends, so you all say, well, "Hey, we're such good people. We have such good values," that's not doing anything, because at the end of the day, it's my pocket that you're sticking your hand into. This is such a great breakdown.
Liberal who is just in love with his own wonderfulness, he assumes that everybody in the world wants the same things he wants. And that's not empathy, that's a projection. That's what happens when your empathy is developed to the level of a 3-year-old because you've never had to do anything difficult in your pathetic life. At this low level of empathy, you're going to assume that everybody has the same desires as you, or they're just a bad guy like Darth Vader. And now
it's a very simpleton type of perspective of other people, other cultures, and other groups. It's a very simplistic type of perspective. This is such a great breakdown.
You understand liberals and why they hate you for caring about your country. They think that you are being mean to the innocent babies who just want free health care. That type of liberal is either a retarded psychopath or a retarded psychopath with a fake degree in gay crying or victim studies. This video is not going to cover the regular psychopaths, the people who call themselves classical liberals who actually just don't know what century it is, or the naive white boomers who think that being nice makes people be nice back. The other kind of retarded psychopaths, which is to say not the naive ones, are bratty, entitled women and their simps, which is how this relates to our dating breakdown. Women like Renee have been told that they are all tens all the time for so long that they can't even conceptualize being wrong. They just make demands and wait for them. And if they don't get their way, then they try to run over the cops. These are the...
Wow. This is a blistering takedown. This is a blistering takedown. Now you know why I follow Ho Math. I hadn't seen this video. And I know it wasn't what I was directed to, but I am so glad I found this. This is for me like the highlight. This is great. Wow. I got to clip this.
The times we live in, about 48% of white women, usually the fat, ugly, insane ones, are actually using their political power to make sure that anyone in the world can walk into your country and steal from you. And it's all because we let them become a bunch of spoiled brats and naive little children. Remember to like, share, follow, subscribe, and click the link in my bio.
This guy is so good. Wow. He's amazing. That is Ho Math. Hoemath. I think the Ho is because, sometimes you need to use an all Sometimes you need to use a rake, and sometimes you need to use a hoe. And you need to know how many of those hoes and how the math works when you're using those hoes. Hence the name, hoe math. This guy is great. Yeah, there's an underscore between the hoe and the math. You said it was a different Renee one that I was supposed to find? Called Baby Talk? Let me search hoe math with an underscore. Is it this one?
If you want a girl to fall in love with you, it's just 3 words, my guy.
It's actually more like 3 words and an entire skill set from a guy who is about here or better. But she didn't say that part. They never say that part. She has an attitude, though.
I'm giving this to you for free because I believe in you. I believe in you and your little brain.
See how she hesitated?
I believe in you and your little brain.
That means she thinks you're stupid. See how she's eating candy while talking? That means she doesn't respect you. But as always, it is the TikTok girl who is stupid and does not deserve respect. Here's why.
Welcome.
Is this what I was... Wait, I'm still trying to figure out if this is the one you want me to see. Is this it?
To Emily's School of Women.
Never go to a school of women run by women. You will learn nothing. This part of the chart is in a speech bubble because that's the stuff we say out loud, and this part is in a thought bubble because that's the stuff that we keep quiet. These girls that we put in this box, we don't tell anyone about them. And women will never tell you what makes them like a man. They will only tell you what they want that man to do.
The magic equation is anchor, magic words, shut up. Don't say anything about yourself. You don't exist. Let me demonstrate. I'm you. You're me. Hi.
Oh, gosh. Can you even imagine? I can't even imagine who wants to date this.
How was your day? It's good. I got a lot done. That's your anchor. You got something done? Tell me more.
Emily is demonstrating emotional investment, which she does not want from you if you are not already attractive. She left that part out. They always leave that part out. What Emily just said is that if you say the 3 magic words, you talk now, and then you let her talk endlessly, then she will fall in love with you. This is wrong, because this is the only part that Emily sees. What she does not see is the years upon years of developing listening skills and your genuine interest in listening to her or your ability to tolerate worthless noise. Emily also...
Maybe that's why they have the whistles, so you learn to tolerate worthless noise. Maybe you're all thinking that they're trying to harass ICE. Maybe the objective is this way you'll be more sympathetic and actually like listening to them. You're like, wow, at least they're blathering endlessly now instead of blowing those whistles. So it's like, you know, they feel like, hey, I can stop blowing the whistle and talk now. So that way they feel like they're, you know, they're encouraging you to say, you talk now. Maybe. This is a theory I hadn't considered.
Cannot imagine hearing these words from a 6 or below. Here's what she wants you to tolerate.
I got my laundry done. I got my groceries done. You got 2 anchors. You got laundry and groceries. Groceries, huh? Do you like to cook? Tell me more.
Here.
See, this is, it's so talking down. Like,
we see Emily acting out what she wants Chad to say to her, even though he doesn't have to, because Emily already picked him, and so did all of her friends. And he's already getting away with ignoring her. See, there's no arrow there. On the other hand, if you are not Chad, which most of you are not, sorry, then saying these things will only move you up the good guy axis, which does not increase attraction. That means your best case scenario is the friend zone. On the other hand, if Emily already picked you, why would you spend your time listening to endless noise? Hey, tell me more about groceries. Do you like to cook? That's not
Oh my God. Oh my God.
not realistic. This guy has other women to ignore.
Don't say anything about yourself. Shh, shh.
In other words, Emily wants you to listen to her endless nonsense, but don't you dare ask her to listen back. All of that energy is for her. Emily is the table. Young women with too much makeup like Emily will tell you that this is how to win their hearts. And they're not just wrong, they're lying, because they know that being a good guy doesn't work and being a bad boy does. Most guys start life down here in the weak and selfish box. I know I did. These guys act like they're choosing this life, but really, they just don't have anything to offer. If you're dumb enough to go to Emily's School of Women, where they tell you to be more kind, that will transform you into the nice guy. And you don't want to be the nice guy. It's arguably better to just stay down here and play your video games. But if you start down here and then you take the red pill, that might transform you into the bad boy. I know that's what happened to me. And then women will want you and you will make them cry. What Emily's saying is that she wants this guy to give her more emotional investment, not this guy. That is what too many men don't understand because they listen to women. So why does Emily think tell me more is a good strategy? It is important to give investment, security, and reputation to a woman who chooses you, but she's not going to choose you because of it. She's going to choose you because of your looks, your competence, and your confidence. And Emily's School of Women forgot to tell you that. If you'd rather learn from me, don't forget you can buy my charts and print them out at home, or...
Well, there you go. It's true. Those are not the factors that are ever going to land you a woman. Your investment and your reputation, that's not it. No. Competence, masculinity, confidence, and looks. That's what works every time. And sense of humor is nowhere in that diagram at all. Nowhere at all. The only reason a sense of humor is confused as far as being something that women actually seek is because frequently people who have a good sense of humor have some confidence. But if you're lacking confidence and have a sense of humor, and case in point, right? Here's case in point, right? Gilbert Gottfried. You think women were like all over that? He's funny. He can be funny. You think women were all over that? Anyway, that was a great breakdown. I'm glad we went down that road. Didn't we just do the baby talk video? How am I supposed to find it? I've been trying to find. I thought that was it. Let me see if I do a Google search. Home math baby talk. I thought that was it.
If you're immediately reprimanding instead of...
It's a 23-minute video. I just found it on YouTube. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can make it all the way through here. I'm a fan of home math, but I don't know. Let me catch up on my chats. Maybe introduce the topic I put in comments before last night on locals if you're bored. I think I filled my boredom up pretty fast. Last night on locals. This was from Granny Be Good. Becky Price? Becky Pringles? Excuse me. I don't know anything about that story. I don't know anything about Becky Pringle. I'll try to take a look at that. A lefty once told me he wants a free college for all. I counter, I think teachers should be paid. Their brain melted. Nice. Using a medium other than physical touch, throwing hot water on someone else's battery is undoubtedly accepted as assault battery. Using sound as medium other than physical touch to injure is the same. You're trying to convince me, and I start from where you are. So what I'm saying is, if you ask me, I think yes. Someone comes up to you, standing next to you, blowing a whistle in your face, following you around, blowing a whistle, I think that you have every right. My gut says, morality says, you have every right to punch that guy in the face. But I'm not going to tell you that that's what the law says, because I never researched it, and I've heard conflicting elements on this. So my gut says, you ask me, and just if you're on an island in the middle of nowhere, someone's doing that, you should go out and punch that guy in the face. Am I going to tell you as a lawyer that you have the legal authority to do that? No, because I don't give a legal perspective on things that I cannot be certain is the law, because otherwise I am not doing you a service. I think you understand that. Cthulhu became a YouTube member. Look at that. After gifting. First gifted and then became a member themselves. Welcome aboard, Cthulhu. Send you my dumb meme on locals. You did? Let me check locals. Locals. I'm not saying it was illegal aliens, but it was illegal aliens. This is what they sent me. So. That's okay. That's all right. Sent you a funny. You sent me a funny. Oh, people send me stuff now. That's what happens. I open the floodgates. I don't know if I can play this. Maybe I'll say this. I'm going to say this after I look at it. I get very nervous when I hear music that sounds too well done. That's like I'm going to get dinged. All right. Let's see what we got here.
Listening and understanding. If you're immediately reprimanding instead of listening and understanding, if you're offended by people's lived experiences, you're the problem. Oh!
You are the modern woman. You are in your car. Life does not feel quite right. Something is missing. You check the mirror to make sure it's not your meticulously applied makeup. It's not. You look fabulous. You are the modern woman, and you have an urge you can't quite put into words. You let the urge run through you. You ask it what it wants. It wants to play peekaboo games, but there is no baby here. You have aborted all of your babies and ghosted all of the men who might have proposed to you because you are the modern woman. You take out your phone. Who is here? Who can I find in the phone to play peekaboo? What do they want to hear? You are the modern woman, so your mind floods with feelings of victimization. Women are victims. Minorities, 93% of the global population, are victims. The phone wants to hear about how much you love victims. And it wants to hear this as if it's the baby you refused to have. You are the modern woman, so you recall a children's song and you change the words to show that you know how bad white people are, and men, and white men. You sing your victimhood nursery rhyme into your phone.
Or offended by minorities talking about their lived experiences, you're the problem. If you're offended by women saying they're afraid of men, you're the problem. If you're immediately reprimanding instead of listening and understanding, if you're offended by people's lived experiences, you're the problem. Oh!
You clap your hands. You make ugly faces. You roll your eyes. You hit 'em with the double henpeck bird hand special. The old 1-2. You upload the documentation of your hysterical phantom pregnancy meltdown into the glossy black void. And you wait. Someone likes you. Someone loves you. Someone has paid attention to you. You are the modern woman, and this is the happiest that you will ever be. Modern liberal white women are not okay. They have changed into something called the awful. That's affluent white female urban liberal. This insanity is a consequence of the information age. These young women are being bombarded with emotional content, and it's making them lash out.
So I feel like I've covered this sort of stuff a lot. I agree with everything he's saying here, but I sort of feel like I don't want to steal his content because I like the guy. And, you know, he obviously works very hard in putting this in here. And I feel as if I cover this a lot. So I'm gonna stop this here just because I feel as if I've either sold you on the guy or not. You can find him on TikTok. You can find him on YouTube. I wasn't even aware that he's on YouTube, but I just subscribed to him. Yeah, so he's very intelligent and walks through things in ways that spot on. But I don't want to. I feel like I'm stealing his content, and especially because it's stuff that I kind of had talked on. I wasn't trying to convince you. I was answering a conflicting view that you said might be raised by others who don't agree with our shared view. No, I understand. I didn't take offense. I was telling you why I wasn't gonna sanction it, even though I internally agree with you. That's the way things should be. But yeah, I didn't take any offense from it. All right. That's my show. I'm sticking to it. It's time for me to start landing my plane. I'm not going to be here on Saturday night or Sunday. I'm giving you that heads up. I do plan on being back here on Monday. But tomorrow, I'm going to be away. So I'm away Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will be back here, God willing, on Monday. Okay? So don't go looking for me over the weekend because I'm telling you now, I'm not going to be around. So you can follow me at goodlawgic.locals.com. Sometimes I may jump on a space, things of that nature over this weekend, but I'm not going to be producing content here. I might be uploading a video. That could happen because I have been working on editing a video or two. So I might upload something, but I'm not going to be live streaming between now until 10 o'clock Monday night. That's the plan right now. So I hope all of you have a phenomenal weekend. We'll see if we're in the middle of a lockdown, a government shutdown by the time I come back to y'all. And I wish you a phenomenal weekend. Stay safe. They say it's supposed to be snowing certain places, perhaps where you live. Make sure you stay safe. Drive safe. Don't drink and drive. Do not touch that lab meat because it was never meant for you. It was meant for they, them, not for you. So no lab meat. And let me do a quick check here, make sure that I'm good on that I didn't miss anything in the ghetto. I did miss the ghetto. Oh my gosh. Glad I checked there. Woodtick Mike says tantrumism. I think that's probably a good term, tantrumism. And Uzelian says, what do we got from you, Uzelian? What do we got from you? The right already folded to the left. Just remember, everyone, FEMA is part of DHS. They are? Senate strikes deal to avert a partial shutdown. What? A 2-week version? A 2-week version? Good golly. I should share this with you. I didn't even see this until now. Lord. There's always more work. All right. We're going to do this real fast just so I keep you better informed. Thank you, Zellian, for sharing this with me. Senate strikes deal to avert partial shutdown. What? Senate struck a deal to fund a large part of the government on Thursday evening, just a day before shutdown deadline. Wow. Okay, that was not on my feed today. Thank you, Zellian. The agreement was split the bill funding the Department of Homeland Security off from a minibus package of 5 other major funding bills. Senate will instead move a stopgap bill known as a continuing resolution that would fund DHS at current levels until February 13th. Two sides had haggled over the length of the CR, with Democrats insisting on a 2-week version that won out. Wow. These Republicans suck. Republicans had sought a 6-week CR. 2 sources confirmed the deal, which top Republicans were still circulating with rank and file members to determine whether there will be any amendments needed. Remaining 5 bills, which cover the Departments of Defense, Transportation, Housing and Urban Development, Health and Human Services, Labor and Education, are full-year measures, meaning that roughly 96% of the government will be funded for fiscal 2026. Still is expected to allow the Senate to vote Thursday night. Oh, good golly. They're so useless. They're so useless. You had to give me this and depress me, Uzelian? You had to? I don't like when Trump does this. I don't like when he does this. I'm working hard with Congress to ensure that we're able to fully fund the government without delay. Republicans, Democrats in Congress come together to get the vast majority of the government funded until September, at which point they're going to screw us over. This is terrible. Why? You couldn't just let me live my little fantasy land that this wasn't going to happen? Wow. All right, note to self. Don't check the ghetto anymore before I leave. God. Trump endorsing this BS deal. Passes the bill in the Senate would put the ball in the House court in the coming days, and it's going to pass. Questions remain over how easily the House will pass remaining funding bills, with some Republicans already clamoring for changes. This is disaster. How can you be so weak? Congress is terrible. 2 weeks. And then what happens in 2 weeks? So stupid. So stupid. All right, you really depressed me here, Zellian. The one area that I really don't like Trump's presidency is when it comes to his spending. And here it is again. Okay, I really need that vacation now. Now I really need that vacation. Republican Party is so useless. It's so useless. Useless. I can't. Now I'm sickened. I should close with home math. It really bothers me. This really bothers me. All right. And by the way, I will point this out here. Jacob Castro is correct. He is correct with what he said here, which is the term rhino indicates they're true Republicans, but true Republicans are the problem. If all Republicans are rhinos, then none of them are. Because basically what he's saying is this is what the Republican Party is. This is what it is. Bunch of weak cucks who basically cannot stand up and actually accomplish anything. Utterly useless. I hate Congress. All right. Now that's my show and I'm sticking to it. Sorry to leave you on such a bummer, but I got to get on out of here. I thank you all for joining me. I will be back here, God willing, on Monday evening at 10 p.m. Until then, I remind you, do not eat the bugs. Don't do it. Have a good night, great weekend, and Godspeed.